Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into the government's massive 2026-27 budget for transport and infrastructure. We're going to follow the money and see exactly what the plan is to keep the entire country and its economy on the move. So let's just start with the central question, right? How do you keep a nation of 1.4 billion people moving? I mean, think about it. The logistical challenge is it's on an almost unimaginable scale. Keeping a country this huge and this populated connected requires a continuous, colossal investment in its arteries, its roads, its railways, its cities. And when I say colossal, I really mean it. Just look at this number. That is 2,82,414 crore rupees. And get this, that's just the capital budget for one single area, roads and bridges. This one figure alone gives you a real sense of the sheer scale we are talking about here. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the new playbook for how this money is being spent. Then we'll look at the big investments in roads, railways, and our cities. And finally, we'll ask the big question. What does this all add up to? This year's budget isn't just about these giant numbers. There's a fundamental shift happening here, a new way of thinking. It's all about accountability and, more importantly, tracking real-world results. And this is the tool that's supposed to make it all happen, the Output Outcome Monitoring Framework, or OMF. Basically, it's designed to track everything, not just the outlay, which is, the money being spent, but also the outputs, like, say, how many kilometers of road get built, and, most importantly, the outcomes, the actual benefits we all feel, like better mobility and improved safety. So this is the key difference right here. An outlay is just a transaction, spending the money. But an outcome? That's a transformation. This whole new framework is trying to make sure these massive investments actually lead to real, tangible improvements in how we all travel and connect with each other. Okay, so we've got the new playbook. Now let's see how it's being applied, starting with the biggest piece of the pie, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. We're talking about the nation's arteries. The gross budget for this one ministry alone is just staggering, over 4 lakh crore rupees. This really underscores the government's intense focus on expanding and improving the country's road network, everything from those huge expressways down to last-mile connectivity. Now, let's break down where all that cash is actually going. You can see the two heavy hitters right here. The National Highways Authority of India, the NHAI, gets a massive chunk, over 187,000 crore, for all the major highway projects. Then, the roads wing gets nearly 122,000 crore for other crucial roadworks. And this right here is that new framework in action. We've seen the financial outlay, right? Well, here is the stated output target, to build 10,000 kilometers of new national highways. It's a clear, measurable goal that's tied directly to all that spending. Okay, so from the roads, let's switch tracks and talk about the country's lifeline, the Indian railways. This is another area that's getting a massive injection of funds for some serious modernization, safety upgrades, and expansion. The capital outlay for the Ministry of Railways is nearly 3 lakh crore rupees. And this kind of investment is absolutely crucial for taking what is, an age-old network and upgrading it to meet the demands of a modern, fast-growing economy. So where's this money headed? Well, a huge piece of it, over 65,000 crore, is for rolling stock. That's basically new trains, new wagons, new locomotives. Safety is right up there as the next big priority, followed by expanding the network by doubling existing lines and building completely new ones. And again, here are those targeted outputs. That budget translates directly into these concrete goals: 6,400 kilometers of track renewals for safer journeys, getting 1,700 new locomotives on the tracks, expanding capacity by doubling 2,400 kilometers of lines, and upgrading 151 stations to make them better for passengers. All right, now let's zoom in from the vast national network to where millions of us live and work every single day, our cities. Keeping these mega cities moving is an incredibly complex challenge, and it's getting a major focus. The investment in urban public transit is pretty substantial. Metro projects all across the country are set to receive over 28,000 crore rupees. And on top of that, the National Capital Region Transportation Corporation gets another 2,200 crore for those high-speed rail projects connecting Delhi with its neighboring areas. And the measurable targets here are crystal clear. The goal is to make 112 kilometers of new metro lines operational this year. Plus, as part of a big push towards cleaner transport, the plan is to get 1,500 new electric buses out on city streets. And we can't forget about the skies, right? To kind of round out the picture, the Airports Authority of India is also slated for a capital outlay of nearly 4,700 crore rupees. This is to make sure our aviation infrastructure keeps up with the growing demand. So we've looked at roads, we've looked at rail, and we've looked at urban transport. Now let's try to tie it all together and see what this historic level of spending is really aiming to achieve. Here it is, all in a nutshell. These aren't just lines in a budget. They are the blueprints for tangible progress. 10,000 kilometers of new highways, safer, more efficient railways, and more connected, cleaner cities. This is what success is supposed to look like. This quote straight from the government's own framework document just perfectly captures the core idea of this entire explainer. The mission is to move beyond just writing checks and to start focusing on delivering real, measurable results for the entire nation. So, the plan is definitely ambitious and the funding is in place. This new focus on outcomes gives us a really clear metric for success. But the ultimate question still remains. Will this massive push in infrastructure spending truly pave the way for a smoother, faster, and more connected future for 1.4 billion people? Well, only time will tell.